Welcome back. Time for us to go behind the headlines. And in today's headlines, it's actually quite personal to me because these are friends of mine that are now being harassed, attacked for political reasons here in the state of Idaho, my home state. Idaho police have raided the home of Idaho's top marijuana activists and seized their children. What had happened is this involved Lindsay Reinhardt, who is the chief petitioner for Compassionate Idaho. That's Idaho's medical marijuana initiative, Compassionate Idaho. And she's been very prominent on the news there in the Gem State. And, you know, people know who she is and that she's all about the medical marijuana petition. She was on a trip, a trip up to the mountains, you know, typical thing that we would do in Idaho, go north and, you know, hang out and camp and such, with her husband, Josh. Now, Josh Reinhardt is the new executive director for Idaho NORML, which is the, you know, of course, the chapter of NORML from my home state. Formerly, Isaiah Valdez was in charge of that, and now we've got Josh Reinhardt in charge of it. He's also with the core staff of the Idaho Hope Fest. That's Hemp Offers People Everything. And he's part of that core staff, which would now be going into its third year of the Idaho Hope Fest, which is basically their version of a hemp fest. And in addition, they were with their friend Sarah Caldwell, who is the finance director for Moms for Marijuana International. And of course, we deal with Moms for Marijuana all the time on this show. Every other Tuesday, we have a Listen to Your Mother segment where they get on the show and talk from their perspective. Now, Sarah and Josh and Lindsay had all gone off to the mountains for a short camp out. Lindsay and Josh have 2 children. Sarah has 2 children. I think that's how it works out. But there was 4 children involved, and they were in the care of a babysitter at, I believe, Lindsay's home. But we'll get the straight dope from her at the end of the show. But apparently being babysat at Lindsay and Josh's home. Now, unbeknownst to anyone, again, as I understood this, a child who was a friend of one of their children was caught with some marijuana. And so he ratted, I guess you could say, on Lindsay's child. And that was enough for the cops to be able to get a warrant and go to Lindsay's house while there was a babysitter there and they were out of town. They come back into town to find cops had gone through their house, searched their entire homes, seized Lindsay and Josh's children, and since Sarah's children were there too, went ahead and seized them as well. So 4 children taken away from 2 families that are devastated. And folks, nobody works harder than these Idaho activists. They have so much more courage than I do. I left Idaho. I wasn't going to stay there. It was too dangerous for me. I was becoming too prominent and too well known, and just the slightest amount of marijuana can get you a lot of trouble out there. And I'm a guy with no kids and no family and nothing really tying me down. These are folks that believe in the movement so much and believe in what they're doing so much, they're donating so much of their time and their energy and taking this risk. And now that risk has come to fruition. Now they are facing not only losing their kids in this situation, but dealing with all of the legal hassle that is going to take place from this point on, and possible marijuana charges as well that could lead them into criminal court. So please, I know I ask for money all the time. It's public radio. That's what we do. But not for me. We're fine at 420 Radio. We've actually gotten some sponsors. I've gotten some good news. I can't tell you yet, but from the Cannabis Cup that is going to really help our sponsorship. So if you can spare it now, go to that address that's right below me. It's on my Rad Russ short address, rad-r.us/Idaho Fund. And you got to capitalize the I in Idaho and the F in fund. So Idaho Fund. Take that. Go there and donate. By the way, you supporters of 420 Radio just donated $100. We put $100 from the nonprofit into the donation there for their support, to support their legal fund. Please help them out as much as you can. I'm going to be calling all of my Legal Eagle friends and find out what I can find out. Most of my friends are on the East and West Coast. I don't know any lawyers in Idaho, but I'm going to try to find some for you, ladies and Josh, because this cannot stand. This kind of action is something they've been waiting to do. They've been waiting for the slightest excuse to try to nip the Idaho movement in the bud, so to speak. And this is the way they always do it. They always want to fight. They want to take your kids. They want to hurt you. We're not going to let them get away with it. We're not going to let them get away with hurting these people and destroying the movement in my home state. Stick with us. 45 after, we'll have Lindsay and I believe Sarah Frank, not Sarah Caldwell, on the show to talk about it.
Oh, have you ever met that funny reefer man? A reefer man. Have you ever met that funny reefer man?